Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Today on the program, the International Criminal Court resumes its investigation into the controversial war on drugs in the Philippines. The Interior Department bears the members of the panel tasked to review courtesy resignations in the police force and alleged drug ties of high-ranking officials. And various sectors express opposition to the proposed return of the mandatory Reserve Officers Training Corps. Senate Committee Chairperson on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Bato Dela Rosa, joins us in the program. President Bongbong Marcos rejects the courtesy resignation of Police Chief Rodolfo Azurin and clears him of illegal drug ties. Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos says Azurin will now steer the five-man committee that will look into the supposed involvement of police officers in the drug trade. Chrissy Dimatulak tells us more about this advisory group.
4 members of the five-man committee have been named, but not all were made public. In a press briefing on Wednesday, Interior Secretary Benhur Abalos said the 5th member requested anonymity. One of the committee members is Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong, who served the Philippine National Police for 30 years before retiring as a Deputy General. Another is former National Defense Secretary Gilbert Gibo Teodoro. He was a bar top-notcher and a former Tarlac 1st District Representative. Also part of the committee is retired Major General Isagani Neres, currently the Undersecretary for the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Military Affairs. And the member who is expected to update the committee on recent police intelligence reports is PNP Chief General Rodolfo Azurin. The PNP previously said it would not be involved in the investigation. But according to PNP PIO Chief Police Colonel Red Maranan, it was President Bongbong Marcos who personally picked Azurin.
Ang pangalan ni Sir Azurin was not included in those 22 names. But during their meeting with the President, he was designated by the President na dapat siya kasama doon sa five-man committee being the Chief PNP as recommended by SILG.
Abalos says the investigation could last up to 3 months. He admits there were some officials who did not submit their resignations.
Out of 955 generals and full colonels, 12 did not comply. Pero hindi lang 12, no? Kung tutuusin nyo, isa na lang ang hindi nag-comply. Why? Of the 12, 5 have already retired. So that leaves us with 7. Of the 7, 6 are retiring. If we're going to look at the figures, technically only 1 has not yet submitted the resignation.
Abalos says no penalty will be imposed on third-level officers who fail to file their courtesy resignations. It was merely an appeal for them to clear their names once and for all. The DILG says the investigation will not stop with the top officials. It will continue its inquiry among lower-ranked personnel.
Tuloy-tuloy talaga ang case build-up, ang monitoring. Ang tanong kasi dito, bakit inuna ang general and colonels? At inuulit ko, hindi sila ganong kadami, ha? O konti lang ito. Pero maski konti, they could do a lot of damage because they occupy very critical and very sensitive positions. So yung sa ilalim, yan. Investigasyon na yan. Dire-diretso na yan. Hanggang dulo.
Abalos says information gathered by the panel will be passed on to the National Police Commission or NAPOLCOM for verification and investigation. The DILG's appeal for top PNP officials to submit their courtesy resignations was meant to cleanse their names after the recent arrests of members of law enforcement agencies in drug busts. Chrissy Dimatulak, CNN Philippines.
The International Criminal Court is resuming its investigation into the war on drugs. It said it is not convinced that the Philippine government is making genuine efforts to look into allegations of extrajudicial killings. It noted that while steps have been taken by the government, only low-ranking police personnel were prosecuted in the alleged killings during the anti-drug operations. The investigation covers the killings in Davao City during the term of then-Mayor Rodrigo Duterte and the drug war when he became president. Let's go straight to the source of the story. Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs Chairperson and former PNP Chief Ronald Bato Dela Rosa. Senator, good morning.
Good morning, Ria. Good morning to our viewers. Good morning po.
Sir, thank you for being here. Now, let's go straight to it. This ICC probe, the International Criminal Court has authorized the resumption of the probe on the government's war on drugs. And Chief Presidential Legal Counsel Juan Ponce Enrile says that the Philippines won't recognize its jurisdiction. Do you agree with that?
I fully agree with that, Ria. I could not agree more.
How do you think then, Senator, that will affect our international image?
Well, that's the problem. That's their problem. Because gusto natin magpapogi before the international community, but isa-sakripisyo natin yung ating sovereignty. That cannot be. It could not happen.
Now, for former Senate President Enrile, he's also saying that an arrest may be possible if ICC probers will insist on coming to the Philippines. Again, is this something that you support?
Well, obviously, the former Senator Enrile and now presidential legal advisor, he has basis for saying that. Because if they insist on the coming here and conduct investigation, that is a clear intrusion into our sovereignty. So, as former Senator Enrile said, they don't have sovereign powers over us. So, very clear.
So for you, Senator, would you want to see ICC officials arrested if they do insist on coming here?
Yes, if they insist. If they insist, yes.
All right, Senator, ikinagulat niyo po ba ang desisyon ng ICC na ituloy ang drug war probe, or was it something that you expected?
Hindi ko na ikinagulat dahil alam ko merong mga tao nito sa likod na nagpupulit, nag-i-insist na ipagpatuloy ng ICC dahil if you have observed in the past years or months or years, on and off yung kanilang effort, no? Bigla lang susulpot, gusto nila mag-imbestiga, ayaw ng gobyerno ng Pilipinas, ngayon tatahimik sila. Mamaya babalik na naman, andyan na naman dahil meron nagpa-follow up. So expected ko na po yan, their insistence, expected ko na yan na talagang mamamalo up sila kahit ayaw natin.
Senator, you are one of the officials, at least previously tagged in this ICC investigation. How are you preparing for the resumption of this probe, at least in terms of legal action? Do you have your legal team studying this?
So far, no preparations are being made by me. Ang kausap ko lang, isa lang. Sabi ko, pag talagang magkakaroon ng progress itong kanilang efforts, then I have already requested the services of my colleague, fellow Senator Francis Tolentino, to be my counsel.
Oh, okay. So si Senator Tolentino po. But,
yes po.
Senator, do you plan to cooperate with the probe?
As I have said, they don't have a jurisdiction over us, so I have no plans of cooperating with them.
Your former ally, of course, is the former president. Are you coordinating with former President Rodrigo Duterte on this? Were you able to speak to him? Were you able to get his sentiments regarding the resumption of the probe?
No. Last time that we talked about ICC was December last year during a Christmas party. And he told me that don't worry, that investigation is going to nowhere.
There was an interview where former President Duterte called the ICC probe an insult. I expect you feel the same. And again, does this decision usurp our sovereignty?
Yes, that's an insult. That is an affront to our sovereignty. I don't know why do they insist, no? What they insisted is that it was well settled ng Supreme Court that during the time of the commission of the alleged crimes, we were still member of the ICC. So we are covered. But then again, sila mismo yung nag-violate ng pinaka-importanting, the most important provision in the Rome Statute, yung Article 1, the principle of complementarity. Nakasabi nga, very clear, it is very clear in the principle of complementarity that ICC will conduct its probe if the government is, number one, not capable of investigating these crimes, these alleged crimes. Number two, if the government is not willing, not capable and not willing. So, in both cases, the government is capable and is investigating. It's very much willing to investigate. And in fact, it is doing its own investigation. So, they're the ones violating this provision of the Rome Statute.
But on the part of the ICC...
According to them, they are not satisfied with the investigation that is going on. So, who the hell are they to impose their standards on us? We have our own constitution, we have our own laws, we have our own courts that are functioning, we have our own prosecution, and we have our own judicial system that is perfectly and very robustly functioning. So, who the hell are they to impose their standards on us, upon us? Huh? That's an insult, very clear. That's an insult to us. Mm-hmm. Ano tingin nila sa bansa natin? Hindi tayo marunong mag-deliver ng justice? Meron tayong mga korte, gumagana. Baka ang gusto nila, yung 600 na deaths as confirmed by the 6,000 deaths that were confirmed by the PNP based on records na nangyari during the war on drugs. Baka gusto nila lahat ng pulis na involved doon sa 6,000 deaths na yun ay makukonbikto. Okay, that's unfair, that's unjust because hindi naman lahat ng 6,000 deaths na yun ay may pang-aabuso. Meron karamihan doon. Most of them were performed with regularity at walang ginagawang pang-aabuso. Paano yung mga pulis natin na namatay during the war on drugs? Paano yung mga pulis natin na nasugatan during the war on drugs? Napakarami po. So, it goes to show na talagang merong nang laban, merong nakipagbarilan. So, gusto nila, ganun lahat, porque may namatay, makukulong lahat ng pulis na involved.
So, Senator,
sino
do
sila
you
para
feel...
mag-impose sa atin ng standard? Meron tayong gumaganang hustisya. Hindi po nila pwedeng bubulagin yung hustisya natin at sila ang masusunod.
Okay, Senator, some people might say, well, you know, if the Philippine government has nothing to hide, then why not just let the ICC in?
Yun nga, the issue of nothing to hide is another issue, no? Pero yung issue naman ng paghimasok nila sa ating kasarinlan, sa ating soberenya, is another issue. Wala tayong, there's nothing to hide as far as we're concerned. We're an open book. Lahat pwede mag-imbestiga. Hanggat ang importante, ang mag-imbestiga, mag-prosecute ay Filipino prosecutors. At haharap kami sa Filipino courts. At kung kami makonvicted at mabibitay, magpapabitay kami before the Filipino people, not doon sa mga foreigners. Yan po ang aming stand. Wala kami tinatago, but hindi natin pwedeng i-surrender ang ating soberenya sa kanila dahil that's an insult, that's an affront.
Senator, do you think that there might be a group behind pushing for the resumption of the ICC probe?
Meron. Sino ba? Who are these people that complain doon sa dahil? Ito yung mga political opponents ng Duterte administration. At ngayon, sino nagkukumahog, nagpapalo-up sa kaso? Ito yung mga tagakaliwa. Dahil nasaktan sila ng gusto sa hindi lang sa war on drugs, kundi sa laban against insurgency ng Duterte administration. Kumina ang
Senator, can you identify these people, these individuals, or these groups?
I know. Kilala mo yan. Kalaban ni Duterte. Sino kalaban ni Duterte? Mga taga-liberal party. Sinong kalaban ni Duterte sa pagdating sa sa insurgency. Yung mga makakaliwa, yung mga CPP, NP, NDF and its allied forces. Yan yun ang namamaluap.
All right, Senator, stay with us. We do need to take a short break. We will be back. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Our source today, Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs Chairperson Bato Dela Rosa. Sir, welcome back to the show. Senator Bato, are you still there?
Yes, Ria, yeah, I'm still here.
Okay, fantastic. We're back on air, sir. Now, there were some reports quoting some senior Canadian officials telling the Philippines to submit to the ICC probe. And, you know, the point they made was this, that the Philippines cannot call foul on international laws, like UNCLOS, for example, but then not put itself or submit itself under other international laws, such as that with the ICC. What's your reaction?
Well, as I have said, okay lang yan pag ang ginagawa nila ay kabutihan. Pero pag ginagawa nila ay ikakasama ng ating bansa, hindi po maganda yan. So, that's it. Yan ang stand ko. Dapat hindi respetuhin yung mga ganitong mga organisasyon na pilit na nanghihimasok sa ating soberenya.
But do you think, sir, it might undermine the Philippines' credibility by not submitting to the ICC but citing UNCLOS when it comes to the South China Sea?
Our credibility as a nation would be very much undermined if and when we submit to this to their insistence, because it goes to show that we are, as a nation, we are very weak. We cannot stand. We can be easily bullied by these international organizations, and we cannot be hindi tayo maasahan bilang isang bansa na tumatayo based on principle, base sa prinsipyo. So dapat manindigan tayo laban dito sa kanilang panghihimasok. Mas lalong mapapasama yung imahe natin pag ganun na lang tayo. Ganun na lang pala tayo. Very weak. Hindi na nga natin makakaya yung mga incursions diyan sa West Philippine Sea ng China. Pati ba itong ICC hindi natin tatayuan? That will send a very wrong signal doon sa international community pag ganun tayo.
But Senator, isn't the Philippines, by citing UNCLOS, standing up for itself and declaring its sovereignty?
Well, as I have said, ibang sitwasyon yan. Yung UNCLOS ay tayo pinapaboran, but look, nirespeto ba sila ng China? O who will enforce UNCLOS? Kahit na gustong-gusto natin na sundin yung ruling ng UNCLOS na yan. Sino mag-implement ng ruling na yan? Wala nangyari. Tapos ngayon dahil diyan sa ruling na sa UNCLOS, gusto mong itatali tayo dito sa ICC na hindi na nga tayo membro, nag-withdraw na nga tayo, umalis na tayo from the ICC, gusto mong bumalik pa? Mukhang mali ata yung ganong line of thinking.
All right, Senator, has there been any official communication between you and the ICC? Did they get any comment or response from you?
I don't know, Riano. I don't care, and I don't care what they do. Dahil alam ko they will really insist on doing what they want to do because they are thinking that they are superior over us, that they have sovereign powers over us. Go ahead, make my day. You do your job if you want to. Wala po akong pakialam sa kanila.
Senator, do you have any plans of talking to President Bongbong Marcos or at least to his officials to discuss this ICC probe?
I haven't discussed this with the President after elections. During the campaign, napag-usapan namin yan and yun lang, yung pag-usapan namin during the campaign. But ito ngayon, when he becomes president already, I was not able to talk to him about this.
But do you plan to, sir?
So, given the chance, I will talk to him. But then again, it is very clear. There are two cabinet members of the Marcos administration who are the alter ego of the president. That number one, the Secretary of Justice, and number two, si Boying Remulla. Number two, si Secretary Enrile, the Presidential Legal Advisor, and both their positions, I assume, are the position also of the President because they are the alter ego of the President. So I don't think I still have to discuss it with him because two of his secretaries have spoken already.
All right, let's shift topics, Senator. The Interior Department revealed the 5-man panel who will review high-ranking police officers and their alleged links to illegal drugs. Looking at this composition, they did reveal 4 of the 5 names. Do you think this is going to be a fair process, considering that one of the members is General Azurin?
Well, I even know, kahit granting that Azurin is one of the officers na nagsubmit ng courtesy resignation, but then again, pinapaboran ko yung membership niya dyan sa 5-man committee niyan because na looking for somebody who is from within the organization, not from without the organization. Dahil mas alam nila ang real situation and who is who in the PNP organization being an active member of the Philippine National Police. Itong ibang member na matagal nang wala sa PNP, well, we should expect neutrality and objectivity coming from them. But then again, matagal na silang wala dyan at they don't have the accountability of whatever decisions that they are going to do because they are outsider and they are not within the command structure or within the organizational structure of the wala po silang pananagutan kung ano yung kanilang gagawing decision sa kanilang assessment. So I'm happy na sinama si Chief PNP. At least the Chief PNP fully knows the organization.
But with him there, Senator, how objective do you think this panel can be?
Well, there's a check and balance. Checks and balances. Maganda po yan. Merong active at merong retired. Merong checks and balances. Pag makita naman ng yung ibang mga retired na members na si Chief PNP ay masyadong pinapaboran yung mga perceived ng mga bata-bata niya within the PNP organization, then mati-check ito ng ibang membro na retired. On the other hand naman, in the same breath, kapag itong mga retired ay ang kanilang mga decision ay hindi updated, hindi masyadong tawag ito, up to date yung kanilang mga alam, yung kanilang mga information, andyan si General Azurin na mag-inject ng kanyang input na very much updated. Like for example, I will give you one case, no, Ria. Itong si Colonel De La Cruz ay during the time na andyan pa sila like for example, General Magalong, nandiyan pa sa serbisyo. He was then my deputy chief PNP for operations when I was the chief PNP. Halimbawa, isang official, alam ni General Magalong na ito'y tinapo ni General Bato doon sa Basilan because ito'y ninja cup, ito'y identified na gumagawa ng illegal drugs. Then, doon sa kanya, ex na itong official na ito. He should resign dahil may record siya na ganun. Pagdating naman dito sa kay General Azurin, alam ni Azurin na itong tao na ito noon talagang tinapon yan sa panahon ko. Pero itong panahon ngayon ay talagang nagbagong buhay na, talagang honest to goodness na yung kanyang ginagawang paniderbisyo. So maka-counter-check yan General Asurin. Sabi na, sir, no. Noon yan, masamang tao yan, pero ngayon nagbago na po yan. Talagang matino na yan, he's performing well. Naitapon lang yan noong panahon ni General Bato because of association, by mere association of mga ninja cops na isama ito, then makukorek po yan pag nandiyan si General Asurin. So may checks and balances po.
All right, Senator, we need to take another short break. Stay with us. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. Our source today, Senator Ronald Bato Dela Rosa. So I want to talk now about the return of ROTC. In a Senate hearing last week, a defense official gave senators a reality check on the proposed mandatory reserved officers training course, or ROTC. And that official said that the AFP might not be ready with the task because that might involve 9,000 to 10,000 military personnel being deployed to over 2,400 colleges and universities. Has this detail been ironed out, and do you agree that it is going to be a huge task?
Well, before we finished the hearing last time, no, it was well settled that the lacking personnel, kung hindi man ito kaya nilang 100% na active military personnel, ay pwede itong gagampanan ng mga reservists. We have 700, ito sabi nila, 9 to 10,000 ang kinakailangan nila. We have around 700,000 reservists. Ito ay very, very willing na magturo. Marami ditong very much qualified at matitino na pwede nilang it-up na magturo. So nasettle na po yung issue na yan noon pa. But then again, itong hearing namin ngayong Monday, aayusin pa namin yan. Dagdagan pa namin yan ng finer details with regards to manpower requirement ng implementation of the ROTC program.
Now, Defense Secretary Carlito Galvez issued a clarificatory statement last week and saying that the mandatory ROTC might be rolled out in phases that can be completed in 5 years. What are your thoughts on that, and what do you think is the best timeline for the proposed mandatory ROTC?
Well, it is feasible, and it might be realistic. But then again, pag-usapan naman yan kung ano yung gusto nilang, they will be the ones implementing the law, no? But before they implement that, we have to make sure that the law that we are crafting will be attuned to reality. So, pag-usapan po namin yan, yung sinasabi nila na phasing. Because, again, we cannot, dapat hindi masyadong malayo yung phasing, no? 1 year, 2 years siguro is enough. Hindi na siguro pwedeng umabot ng 4 years to 5 years kung magpipacing man sila. Dahil once this law is signed into law, it will be effective right away after publication. Diba? 10 days after publication of the National Gazette or 2 newspapers of national circulation.
Right.
So 15 days after signing, effective na ito. And pag effective na ito, yung mga first-year students all over the Philippines ay apektado na dito. At kung gagawin mong 4 years to 5 years, yung ibang university, yung ibang colleges na nandoon, ang implementation ay nailagay doon sa 4th year or 5 years, ano mangyayari dito sa mga estudyante na hindi pa nakapag-ROTC? Mas masakripisyo yung kanilang graduation. So,
right.
dapat nga, as I've said, 1 year or 2 years na pacing is enough. It's okay.
All right. Senator, that is all we have time for, but thank you very much. Daghang salamat. That was Senator Bato Dela Rosa. And thank you for joining us here on The Source. Sitting in for Pinky Webb, I'm Ria Tanwat Cotrillo. You're watching CNN Philippines.